Briefly, I believe that every other member has looked at that at your reply, and the affidavit by that Elizabeth, the lady Elizabeth. But would want for the benefit of the public and everybody who's involved in this process to give us your version of. You can look at the issues that have been raised by the Saint Elizabeth Wambui, and then give us your oral response, so that everybody knows that this is what was being raised, and you can put the matter into proper perspective. And when you see this yellow light go on, it's the case that you have a balance of 3 minutes. So that when the red one goes on, it shows that you have a balance of 30 seconds. Over to you.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, honourable members. Yes, indeed, I was served with the affidavit sworn by one Elizabeth Wambui Kamincha. Let me say this for the record. She was perfectly entitled, and I don't begrudge her for filing. It is due process. It's part of public participation, and she was perfectly entitled, as I suppose any other person entitled to file whatever she felt to be aggrieved by. Now, she raises a question about a case or two cases before the Thika court. One where she was charged with an offense of malicious damage to property. And from what I'm gathering now, because I inquired, she went through the trial and was acquitted. Now, that case was the police file was processed. DPP is represented in all the counties. We have county offices, and I believe honorable members know, in all your respective counties, even court stations. We have officers there, and they have functional autonomy. It is not every case. You would imagine that the DPP would not do anything else. So in regard to the file, regarding that matter, that file was processed by the officer in charge of ODPP Thika. And he or she made a decision based on the assessment of the evidence and in terms of the legal requirement, and decided there was sufficient basis to charge. There was no reference, and in fact there was no requirement for a reference to me as the DPP or the head office for that matter. So that case goes. Then she says that notwithstanding her acquittal in the first case, another case was brought upon against her, again before the Thika court, where she's being charged, and I think it's a case that is ongoing. She's being charged with obtaining title by false pretenses. Again, Chair, that file, the police file, was processed, decision made to charge by our Thika office, the officer in charge of the Thika office. There was no prior reference, there was no direction from me personally or the head office. And there was no need for that anyway, because county offices have their own functional autonomies. And there was no complaint made to me Because we receive complaints about decisions made by our subordinates. And we would call for file to satisfy ourselves to do quality assurances. There was no complaint made to me about this. So I'm hearing about this complaint for the first time here during my. And finally, Mr. Chairman, it is understandable. Anyone who is charged must be aggrieved, or should be aggrieved, by a decision to charge. But there is a mechanism provided for by the Constitution. And that mechanism is, if you are dissatisfied with the decision of the DPP to charge you, the appropriate forum is the court of law, because decisions of the DPP are not final, and they are amenable to judicial review. In the affidavit that I mentioned about here, Chair, there is no indication at all that the complainant here at all challenged the decision to charge her in the second case. So with respect and tremendous respect, yes, she's entitled to, but I think, and I verily believe, Chair, that